Hey, how's it going, guys? It is the Hoff here, and today I have a brand new video with my new build, as you see. So, this has been a long time coming. I have been waiting on tons of stuff to be in stock. The fans, the GPUs, as you may know. Just this year, everything's pretty much been out of stock, reselling for absurd amount of money, and it's just been ridiculous, from cameras for webcam and anything that someone can use as a webcam to even green screens, for whatever reason, started heavily going out of stock. And then you had the graphics cards come in and they didn't have enough. Supposedly there was a whole thing with them selling to cryptocurrency miners, and that was the reason they were potentially out of stock. So, don't know, but let's get into this build, and then I will go in and show some glamour shots of the build. So, first thing you have here is your Lian Li case. It is the O11 Dynamic XL, I believe is what they call it. So, it's the big version of a really popular case. A lot of people use it, I know, but it is just so nice, so great. Then we have a Intel board from MSI partnering with EK, and you have a monoblock on there from EK. You buy it on the EK website. I showed that off on plenty of my streams. If you haven't streamed with me in the past, sorry, I have been really busy, haven't been able to get to streaming, but that's for another day. Then we have paired with a 10900K. Right now I have it overclocked to 5.1. I haven't tested anything higher than that, but it's 5.1. And right next to that is our RAM. So I have the Trident Z RGB RAM, and that RAM currently is set to purple color. So if you like purple, then perfect. Right now it's set to a purple color. I love the way this comes out in purple, and I'm trying to go with, as you may have noticed, a Joker theme build, or like Joker Batman type build, where you have the black for Batman, you have the Joker purple, and some green in there as well in certain areas. So there you go. We have the purple color for the RAM. Now, everything else, and the RAM is at 4,000 megahertz. So again, we have the purple color for the RAM. The RAM is at 4,000 megahertz. It's 32 gigs total. And then the most expensive thing of the whole build is a Strix, Asus Strix 3090 graphics card, paired with an EK water block along with the EK backplate. I love the darn thing, but as I will highlight at the very end of the video, there is a coil whine, and I will show you how loud that coil whine can be, and I will have the mic on me, moving the camera over there so you guys can hear it best from my mic attached to me, and how I will hear it. And you hear it just a little bit. Every time I scroll, you can hear it zzz, zzz, and then you really hear it just constantly when I run a benchmark. Apart from that, I'm mostly game with the headphones that you see here. So, and I still need a good placement for these, as far as where I could place this. And I more than likely will end up having to put in the USB card to give me more USB slots in this setup here. I did go with custom cables from Cable Mods. So all you see there, as far as a lot of the different cables that are sleeved, are custom cables from Cable Mods. The fans are the Lian Li Uni fans. Now these fans, hands down, are amazing. If you have not seen any videos on them, I will tell you the software is fantastic software. Now, the only thing I kind of wish is if you're using these fans like I do for the radiators, that you could have software like Asus and some other motherboards have, where the fans will change the speed depending on the temps. And it, for like Asus, my other board that I had, the speeds were an auto setting where I could have it do some testing, and it would ramp up and do all this stuff to test where it needs to be for the cooling in CPU. So then as the temperatures rose, it would automatically rise the fan curves based off of what you set. Whether it's quiet, then it would wait a little bit longer, or performance, then it would kick it in right away if you wanted that turbo to be set at full speed almost the whole time. So I kind of wish it would do that, but apart from that, I have it set to quiet mode, and on quiet mode, you really don't hear it. And then I have it dialed up to full speed when I ran a couple benchmarks, and still, it's not quite that loud at all. I actually noticed the coil whine, and the fans just, you don't really hear them much. And I left the RGB on the way the stock pretty much runs it, and it is amazing. We have the EK distribution plate here, and then I have the EK radiators and all EK fittings, and this is the 14 tubes with all the hardline fittings, and it is actually the acrylic glass for the tubing, so it looks crystal clear. I mean, looking at this from here, there are times that I just can't believe that I am looking through glass and it's glass there. If you look at it from the right angle, you can kind of see the glare from glass, but most of the time when I'm sitting looking at my monitor and I gaze over at this beautiful looking machine, it's like I could reach in and touch something because there's nothing that looks to be in front of it. It is quite amazing. But moving on, for my OS, I went with the Samsung NVMe 970 Pro, and then that is at 500 gigs. Then for my storage, I have another NVMe Samsung 970, and that's at 2 terabyte for my storage. I have nothing else in this build for any kind of storage. I might upgrade later, but the motherboard only handles 2 NVMe sticks. So if I want to do something, it would have to be on a PCI Express lane, but it just looks so beautiful. I'm not sure I'd do that. More than likely, I might end up just going with some extremely large, like 8 terabyte SATA SSD if I could afford it. But that would be down the road should I ever need it. Right now, I'm not playing a whole bunch of games or doing a whole bunch of stuff. Eventually, I will be taking the larger monstrosity of a tower that was the Thermaltake Tower 900 and be moving that into a white case just like this, but in white with brushed aluminum on the side. And I will be using a lot of similar stuff, so the plates and all that, but I will take the motherboard and the processor out of my old PC and then use it for the new setup, but it will have some EK regular CPU blocks on them, and it will make this easier because, as you may have noticed, which let me go ahead and move you guys just a little bit closer, and so take you guys out of here and let's take a look at this build. So I still got some cable management to do, but if you notice, I'm not too thrilled. I didn't know what to do here. Maybe you guys could kind of help me here. I want to eventually change the liquid when I need to do some maintenance on this, and it will probably be purple again. I don't think I'll ever change it from a purple color at the moment, but I need to do better 90-degree fittings. I'm not comfortable, especially with all of these bends, in doing a bend off the monoblock and having it with those intricate bends right there. Now, as far as this one and these right here, I will potentially do those down the road because those are easy bends to do. The tops, the ones coming off the GPU, and then the ones going to the bottom are easy. Just make a 90-degree bend and shave as necessary down, cutting and reamering and everything else so you can get the way you need to. But that is how it looks right now with all the RGB. Another thing I will say is you have this cool, almost like a slight brushed aluminum sticker. I didn't realize, and I should have, but you probably can't see on the bottom too well. But okay, there you can see a little bit of the black lettering. I have one, and I may see if I could try to get my hands on another one or do something different to be able to make it on the bottom all have that brushed, because I really should have tried to take them off like somebody else did and flip them to the other side. But it is what it is. My temps are still amazing. So the way I have it routed, which, I mean, you guys can tell me that this isn't the best or it is, whatever. It works for me. I got still amazing temps. I don't go above 51 in full load for my GPU, and my CPU, like, that doesn't get really hot either. I forget what the actual full temp was, but still. I have the sides over here exhausting, the top exhausting, the back exhausting, and the only fresh air is coming in from the bottom. So everything seems to be running fairly well, and I think with the sides exhausting, it helps there not be such hot air coming out from the top. I mean, as I feel all of it, the air is not hot at all. Guys, it was white towards the beginning, and now I have purple for everything but the fans. What color should I run with the fans? Is the purple good for the blocks with the purple liquid, or should I go with a white on the blocks to enhance the liquid? Another thing, it kind of annoys me. I mean, I know there's probably no real way around it, but right here, I kind of wish you could have some liquid up in here, even though it stops right there to basically exit into the GPU, and then it comes back up in here, entering to go up here into the monoblock. So because of that, it makes it a little bit harder on the setup. And I mean, it reflects so well that you guys can see the NBA Jam right there reflecting off of it. But I mean, this thing is gorgeous looking, and it performs really well. I still, like I said, need to figure out what I'm going to do with this, because right now, as you see, I need these and I need that, and it connects here. Another thing that I like is this right here. Fantastic to have a USB on the front, because I have the Oculus Rift and I have the link cable that is connecting to a USB slot. So that makes it so much easier to connect that. And then right here in what is a tinier play space area, eventually I hope to move and actually have a larger play space area for myself or the kids playing the PC games using the Oculus or whatever we have at the time, should things change and they have much better stuff out there. So that is really amazing to have on the front. And then as you see, I have the purple here, but you can change the mode, you can change the colors there. I don't use these, but you got microphone, headphones. I have my own mic and headphone, which eventually I would love to give that to the wife for the microphone so I can get a XLR mic in the Shure SMB7 with a Go XLR type setup and have that going and be all that much better. But there you have it. I don't think there is much more. If you have any questions, I will be sure to link them to go ahead and answer your questions down below. But pretty much this thing is amazing. The graphics card is also overclocked in case you were wondering. And I still may be, I mean, check the Port Royal scores, but I did a basic overclock, nothing extreme, and nothing that I was closing down like every single program and running it bare bones and all this stuff. I pretty much just ran it, and I made 90 the first night when I ran it on the ×1 GPU, obviously. I was in 90th place out of 100. And then I think I dropped to 93. So I still might be up there. I may not. I don't know. But I thought that was pretty good, ending up in the top 100 with barely even trying. I could potentially try to overclock the RAM, but I just, this stuff is quite expensive. I mean, I have a 1600 watt power supply. I overspent on a lot of this stuff as far as spending and buying something that wasn't absolutely necessary. Like, did I really need a 1600 watt power supply? Could a 1000 watt or even a 1200 watt have sufficed? Potentially, yes. More than likely, yes. To sum it up, yes. But I wanted to make sure it was guaranteed future proof unless they should happen to change some kind of cables and no adapters. And if for some odd reasons my channel somehow blew up, people thought it was really good, and I started making enough money where I could get a second GPU, just for the heck of it, I would run a second GPU. And more than likely, that's when I will drain this sucker out and modify that you see coming off the monoblock. But I still need ideas besides just running other 90-degree fittings and not rotary. Because right now it's slanted a little bit because it's a rotary fitting. It works. It doesn't look amazing. I am not completely happy with it. And the intent was to have runs that were just a straight piece of acrylic. But that didn't happen. And not all these are completely straight. I mean, yes, the piece of acrylic is straight, but they are slanted for a lot of these. So, I mean, it just adds to the fact that most of these are slanted. So, that was even a thing. But, to me, I love it. It's amazing. It's fast. It plays everything I need to. High ultra settings for 1440p, and I still get over or at 144 frames per second. And with my two monitors, that is just fantastic. So, without further ado, let us get into this Coil whine. Okay, so just to show you guys what I mean by the Coil whine and how bad it is, this is the Port Royal. I'm going to run it, and we're going to give it a little bit, and it will start up. And as it starts up, you will hear the Coil whine with this. I'm hoping you guys can hear that through here. But, I mean, I'm sure you can, and this stuff is just, it's a little bit annoying, especially when you're spending as much as almost $2,000 when you pay taxes on a graphics card. that is just a bit outrageous to have such a thing. But from my understanding, it's pretty common on a lot of the cards, and you can see what they're willing to do as far as the RMA, but I just figured that I only get it this bad when I'm running the benchmark that is basically stressing out the GPU. Not too many games that I'm playing at the moment are completely stressing out the GPU that I hear it. I mean, they may hit the GPU at certain times pretty hard, and I have my headphones on, so I really just don't hear it. And when I'm occasionally watching YouTube, or it kicks in with like HDR or something, you hear it just for a split second. Or as I said before, I can scroll and you can hear it every time I scroll for whatever reason. So it's just a little bit of annoying every now and then with that. But beyond that, this thing is just fantastic, and I have really no major complaints with the whole build. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could do some of the cabling just a tad better, but I had a friend help me with that from work, and that is the best I've ever seen the cabling on the inside of my PC. The other side is not a rat's nest. I just have to deal with all this cabling because I literally just got this whole thing set up and haven't had time to do anything with cable management because I wanted to get straight into the testing. And then I've been dealing with family, baby, and other things, so it's just been quite taxing to try to get down to the cable management. Maybe I'll see if my friend can help me with that. And as you see, there's just a whole bunch of cords back here that they just need to be kind of straightened out, tidied up, and then this whole setup will be amazing. But I think by the time I perfect the way this setup is going to look, I'll be hopefully building a house by then, and then I gotta pretty much take the setup apart to put it into a newer house and be done with everything. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys will tune in to future videos. You like, subscribe, and just let me know what you think of the build. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of critiques with this build, but I mean, it is what it is. I like it, and really, isn't that all that matters? It performs well, and I like it. So what more can you say? I'll see you guys next time.